Ngepathimo Kadhila, as you mentioned. I was born in a village called at the area of Okahao. And I went to school for my primary education. I went to a school called Nashuuta School. Then for my secondary education, I went to Omanjera Senior Secondary School, now called Shanika Shilongo, in Okahao. After matric, I went to the University of Namibia. That's where I obtained my first degree, Bachelor of Education. Specialized teacher at high school. Then my master's is also from the University of Namibia. So I obtained a master in curriculum instruction and assessment. I also hold a postgraduate diploma in higher education from Rhodes University and a PhD in higher education from the University of the Free State in Bloemfontein. My professional background, I started, of course, as a teacher. As I informed you that my first degree is in education. So I taught for a few years in Korihas at a school called Cornelius Coruscant High School. So after Cornelius Coruscant High School, I moved to St. Mary's High School here in Windhoek. Then, after I left the classroom, I went to NQA, Namibia Qualifications Authority, that's where I was introduced to quality assurance, and then that's where I got into the space of quality assurance in education. So after that, I moved to the then Polytechnic of Namibia, now NAST, to establish a quality assurance unit together with my other colleagues. From NAST, I went to UNAM, where I served in the quality assurance unit. I was also privileged to be the pioneers of the quality assurance unit at UNAM, where I started off as a quality assurance coordinator. Then later, I was promoted to the position of Deputy Director Quality Assurance. And in my final years with UNAM, I became director for the Center for Quality Assurance and Management. And that was my last position at UNAM until I moved to now here, Spot-Namcol as CEO. So that is my academic and professional journey. And on top of that, I also have participated in what they term short learning programs, and to mention just a few programs such as leadership and business management and leadership from Stellenbosch University. I participated in higher education leadership with Cardiff University, and many others. NAMCOL is a public institution established by the Act of Parliament, Act number 1 of 1997. And NAMCOL opened its doors in 1998 after the establishment of the Act in 1997. So NAMCOL was established for a purpose, just like any other public institutions. So the Act mandated NAMCOL to develop, to offer programs in professional programs, vocational programs, and general education programs to adult and out of school youth. So that is the mandate. So you realize that NAMCOL has a broad mandate. And I'm saying this because the perception out today is that NAMCOL was established only to focus on secondary school leavers, which is not the case. So the Act is available. You go on NAMCO website, you get it, or even Google in the browser, you get the Act. Clearly indicate NAMCO is there to offer, to develop and offer programs in the professional fields, vocational fields, and general education. So NAMCO is very crucial in terms of making meaningful contribution to social and economic development of the country at all those levels, through offering of programs at all those levels. They was indicated to adults and out-of-school youth. And we offer this through open, as an open college of open learning, through open learning platforms. Maybe I must now elaborate what the openness of open learning entails. At times people don't even understand what NAMCO stands for, because the acronym become more common than the full name. Namibian College of Open Learning. And it's the openness that I want to elaborate further. To say when you are offering opportunities for open learning, so you are removing barriers to access and participation in education, irrespective of those participants' age, the location where they are, or other circumstances such as prior learning. So you are opening up your doors to everyone, every citizen, to get that opportunity to get access to education, irrespective of whether or where they are coming from, what their age are, and their background. So that's where the focus is on the youth, out-of-school youth. The aspect of out-of-school youth will be taken care of by for example, the component of secondary education that we are offering, because they could not do so well in the mainstream. Now they are given a second chance to pursue their secondary education career. And adults, who is an adult? Adult can be anyone. You and I are adults. So I may already have a degree, but I want to pursue a career in something. If NAMCO is offering that a program in that, I don't want to go back to classroom where I need to sit in the classroom. So I can do my studies or pursue my studies with NAMCO through maybe distance, blended learning, online, and so forth. That aspect is now the aspect of adults. So NAMCO is very much important in terms of making meaningful contribution to social and economic development of the country through offering programs at all those levels, be it professional, vocational, or general education, to take care of the needs of diverse groups of Namibian populations, whether they are adults or whether they are out-of-school youth. That NAMCO opened its doors in 1998 after promulgation of the Act in 1997, and NAMCO has made a number of strides or achievements. To start with, NAMCO has lived to its mandate, taking education to the people. We have executed our mandate in such that we are one of the leading open distance and e-learning in the country. And there are so many individuals who went through NAMCO programs. Some at secondary education level, when they couldn't do so well in the mainstream, they took up programs with NAMCO, and eventually they qualified to do programs of their choice at various tertiary education institutions, whether it's in Namibia or abroad. There are a lot of testimonies from those who participated in those programs. Some are parliamentarians, some are officials in government, some are business or entrepreneurs. So really, NAMCO has made meaningful contribution to social and economic development of this country since its inception. And also the fact that we have, NAMCO has 4 regional offices across the country. And each office is subdivided into sub-regional offices. I think there are about 11 sub-regional offices. And the 4 regional offices are as follows. We have a central region. The central region they are not classified as per political regions. Some of the regions, they cut across political regions. For example, the central region starts from Commerce, including Omaheke, that's now southern region, Commerce, Omaheke, Karas, and all these regions in the southern part of the country. Then the central region will include part of Otobejupa, Kunene, and Erongo. Then you have northern region that will include your 4 Oaks in the north. Then northeastern region will include Kabango, the 2 Kabangos, and Zambezi regions. So within each of those regions, there are sub-regional offices. So the headquarters of southern region is here in Windhoek. The headquarters of central regions in Osibarongo. For northern region in Ongwediba. And for northeastern region in Rundu. And within those regions, there are sub-regions in the main in cities across the country. So that is also one way of demonstrating the strides that NAMCO has made in terms of taking education to the people. Because we are an open institution, we need to have a representation in all corners of the country so that every Namibian will have access to education. Although I indicated that NAMCO has a broad mandate to offer programs across all subsectors, that is professional, TVET, or technical and vocational education related programs, and general education, which will now include your secondary education. From the start, when NAMCO opened its doors in 1998, I think back then their need was to address the secondary education aspect. Because we just transitioned from colonial regime, now we gained independence, and failure rate was very high. So government needed to address this aspect to say, those who are not doing so well in matric, what do we do with them? Can they go to streets? No, we need to come up with an institution. But those who came up with the institution, they were so wise that they did not just limit it to secondary education. They created it with that broad mandate to cater for programs at all levels. But perhaps because the need was back then was on the high school failures. So the focus of the institution all along has been on catering for out of school youth who dropped out. They could not do so well to gain admission to tertiary institutions, so that they are given a second chance. But as the years went by, so those who were in charge, they revisited the offerings, and they also now started including professional programs and vocational programs. But now the general public out there, because they got used to NAMCO, who offers general education programs for high school leavers, they thought, without scrutinizing the act, they thought that what NAMCO started offering was the sole mandate for that, the only mandate for that. But when NAMCO started offering programs in other areas, which are also included in the mandate, the general public out there may think you are drifting from your original mandate. So that perception is still there. We need to do more in terms of educating the public to consult the Act. The Act is a public document. It's available even on the web. So NAMCO has that mandate to offer programs at all those levels. But as long as we're offering them through the open learning mode, because of an institution of open learning. So just based on what we just discussed in our previous discussion, the issue of perception.
Yes.
So that perception also affects our tertiary. Not only tertiary, we also have TVET programs. Yeah. So the reception in public out there, that is where we need to do more as an institution to educate the public and our stakeholders that we have a responsibility to offer those programs. So that perception negatively affects the uptake of the program, such that prospective students out there, they don't understand that when we offer a program here in TVET, that program is regulated under NTA, for example. So it's a program just like any other programs at VTCs across the country, whether it's public or private. So therefore, I invite them, if there is an opportunity, they take it up. The qualifications they will get through those programs will be the same qualification that they could obtain from anywhere else. The same applies with our tertiary programs. Those programs, they went through a quality assurance system and QA and SHE accreditation. Therefore, when they obtain it here, it's similar, comparable to qualification obtained from any other tertiary education institution. So the perception is maybe those who do not do well apply to NAMCO, but that is not the case. We are availing opportunity, particularly if you are a working class and you want to strike a balance between studying and working or any other commitment. So NAMCO is the right place for you because we offer our programs through a flexible mode of study. Some programs will be online, some will be blended, which will blend between face-to-face classes, maybe through block release and online. So you can study from the distance. Challenges are many. Most of them will not be unique to NAMCO only. Maybe to start with the financial constraints. For as long as we want to take education to the people across all corners of the country, even deep in villages. So to do that, you need to have financial resources because you need to set up an office there, for example. In some areas of the country, as we all know it, or geographically, Namibia is a very big country. But with a sparsely population, you find some corners of the countries where we could have potential or prospective students up to maybe 10 only. Yeah. Now to strike that balance between taking education to the people and institutional sustainability. So it's a challenge. Can I really set up an office here to save 10 students? Or can I take the office to the populated towns? So now that decision, it's very difficult to take because as you move the office to the town, now that small population might find it difficult to reach out to the services that Namcol is providing. So the other one is digital divide. For open institutions in recently due to technological advancement. So we take advantage of technology to offer our services. So, but we all know that as a country, we don't have 100% coverage of internet connectivity, for example. There are certain areas where the mobile telecommunication is there, but not so strong that you may use internet and so forth. So now the students may end up wanting to use services through maybe their mobile phones, but connectivity is not good. They cannot access our study materials, they cannot upload their assignments and so forth. The other one is, which is related to this one, is technological know-how. So in order to effectively use technology in learning and teaching, one needs to be technological savvy, both the tutors and the students. So if they don't have that, it's a barrier in itself, because they will not be able to use it effectively. They may, for example, for tutors, they might be good in content, the subject matter for the courses that they teach. But when it comes to now apply technology, because technology is just a tool, apply pedagogical methods that will help you to deliver your lessons online, it becomes a challenge. So we need to invest in capacitating our facilitators so that they can effectively facilitate online for meaningful learning to take place. The same applies with the students. They must also be technological savvy so that for meaningful learning to take place by way of accessing the material, engaging in learning online, and also submitting or taking online assessments and so forth. So those are some of the few challenges that are there. We'll just mention a few, but challenges are many. And also, maybe also to mention that striking a balance between openness. You remember I made reference to openness. Yes. When you are open, you are saying everyone comes. Yeah, you give you opportunity. Where others may say, no, you can't. You don't meet our requirements. For us, we need to say you can. We need to provide that opportunity. But now to strike the balance between quality and access, it becomes an issue. Because you don't only want to open up your doors to say everyone come, but you want to see those who are accessing education through openness become successful. Now, and the qualifications that they obtained through that open education must be comparable to the quality of qualifications obtained elsewhere. Now, to strike that balance becomes a challenge. There are many pathways of accessing education. The minimum standards for accessing certain programs are set, but since we are an open institution, if those minimum standards are not met, what do we do to make sure that those students now they meet the requirements to enter into a program? So there are many ways. Some of it you can look at what is called recognition of prior learning. So those, for example, they've been working for many years, but they don't have formal qualifications. They can do welding, they can do ABCD, but they don't have a formal qualification. So that category you take them through an assessment, and if they found that they meet those requirements through assessment that you expose to them, you take them in the program. And if they are found that there are certain areas where they need to attention, you devise an intervention that will help you the student to meet those. For example, if they are just doing, but they are not exposed to reading and analyzing documents, so forth. You pick that up, you introduce them to a certain intervention so that they catch up, and once they meet the requirements, they are enrolled into the program. Also come up with high school leavers, if they don't meet the requirements of entering into a degree, you need to come up with a bridging program that they must first do before they get into the formal program. So those are some of the interventions that can be done to include everyone so that no one is left out. We live to our motto of taking education to the people, and we also live to our purpose as an open institution. I think we are one of the institutions with the highest enrollment rates in the country. Our figures currently stand for this particular year, I think, is just above 30,000 students. And 30,000 students is a big number. So that just demonstrates how open we are. And if you have to break down the number of students across those subsectors, that is tertiary, TVET, and secondary education. Secondary education takes up a large chunk. I think it stands around 26,000, and just about 3,000 will be for tertiary programs, and less than 100 will go to TVET. So tertiary, to have 26,000 students, it will tell you that our conventional education still doesn't produce enough numbers of graduates who could go straight to university. They will still rely on Namcol to come and get a second chance to improve. Our wish is when there is improvement in the general education performance, the number of students at secondary level enrolling with Namcol should reduce. Remember that we take in those who have attempted in the mainstream and they could not make it. So we can, by our mandate, we cannot take someone straight who have not attempted, whether it's ordinary level or AS level. They must first attempt there. Then if they don't do so well, then they come here to get a second chance. So if we are getting still 26,000, that is an indication that in secondary education is still a challenge of performing, producing good results. And we want to see improvement so that this number reduces. And as this number reduces, we increase the number of enrollments in TVET programs and tertiary programs. But overall, the number is there. So it shows that access is provided. But for us, access without success is a futile exercise. So our success will not only be measured on how many students have we enrolled in a particular year. So our measure of success will be how many lives have we transformed after the students have enrolled in our programs. So when they all go out there, when the employers are seeking for graduates from our institution because of the skills they possess and the work ethics, everyone is looking after our graduates so that they can employ them. Or when they go out there and establish their own businesses, and then they also provide employment to others. Also, when they just change it, their life has been transformed at individual, family, or community level, that they make meaningful contribution to the communities where they come from, or to the nation, the country at large. So that is our measure of success, not only the number that we are taking in through access, but after they now access education, how that education transforms them to make meaningful contribution. That is what we're going to be measured with. as a successful institution into its mandate. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking me a question that I was asked in the interviews. For your own sake, I went through a rigorous interview, starting with psychometry, then your presentation about the vision, then you structured interviews. So that is how rigorous was it for me to get here where I am. So my vision to build on my predecessors. So they have established this institution successfully. They have introduced programs. So open distance and e-learning has found its rightful position. So now my vision is to take it from where they left and take this institution to greater heights. And to summarize the vision, I want to see or I visualize NAMCO as a reputable or respected institution, open distance and e-learning institution in Africa and beyond. You know, currently NAMCO serves the Namibian communities, but institutions out there, education, like for example your tertiary programs, your TVET programs, so these should be international programs. You must have your international footprint. You should be able to attract international students. You don't only serve your local community. So I want to see NAMCO at that level. So, you know, NAMCO is a college for your own information, and that is where perhaps people will confuse. It's not a secondary school. So that's why that college accommodates tertiary programs, TVET programs, and secondary programs at CCLA. And that model is not only NAMCO who's offering it. You find some other institutions, like I will give an example of the then Botswana College of Open Learning, Bokodo. And maybe, I don't know which one was established first, but the models used to be similar. Now, just similar to Namibia College of Open Learning. Botswana College of Open Learning now transformed into Botswana Open University. They are our counterparts. We benchmark with each other. We offer, we even self-assess each other. But they have moved on to transform into an open university. And when they moved on to transform into an open university, they did not lose their original mandate of catering for secondary education school leavers. I visualize NAMCO in a similar fashion, whereby we transform to become a comparable institution with the other open institutions elsewhere. I mentioned already Botswana Open University. UNISA in the similar setting as us. So they also started somewhere and then it was transformed into, and for your own information, UNISA is an open university. Any other country in the SADC region will have an open university. For South Africa, you have UNISA. For Zimbabwe, for example, we have Zimbabwe Open University, Mauritius Open University. So they started somewhere, then they got transformed so that they are comparable with the other similar institutions elsewhere in the world. So I visualize NAMCO achieving that status, so that we are not only focusing on catering the needs for Namibia, but we are also catering the needs for SADC, for Africa, and the world. And to do that, we need to strengthen our regional centers, and because that is where the services are to take place. We need to strengthen our regional centers. We need to take advantage of technology, including AI. For example, nowadays people are talking about AI tutors. Yeah, so you can procure a service and then you install it in your computer, and your students will be taught by this AI technology. And to do that, it's not only a one-way traffic. They even interact with the facilitator, they ask questions, they respond. But of course, this does not mean that we are going to take away the jobs of physical tutors. So behind technology, there is always a person, and that is where technology and the human being will interface. But our job and our responsibility will also be we need to catch up with the technology so that we don't become redundant in the process. So I visualize this institution as really living to its motto of taking education to the people, and also visualize it as an institution that whereby when other institutions are saying you can't, you have not met our requirements, we say you can. Please come, take a chance, without compromising quality. Our biggest challenge will be now, as we say you can. So we need to balance that with quality. But we have many models, fortunately, out there. We are not the only one. There are many open institutions in the world, and we do benchmark. Some of them we have a memorandum of understanding with them. We learn from each other. They also have things to learn from us. So uh, sky is no limit. My vision is really to take this institution to greater heights, and so that it becomes an open institution of choice. You remember that perception? The people are still reluctant, must go there, only when they cannot get the other options, then they come. But I want to demystify that misperception, then it becomes an institution of choice. Your circumstances should not determine where you want to go, but you take NAMCOL as your number one institution. Even stakeholders out there, they should have trust and confidence in what we are offering here. And having said that, stakeholder relations become, or collaboration becomes part of my high on my agenda. You know, we have many stakeholders out there who must develop trust and confidence in what we offer, be it the government, our national quality assurance agencies, our employers, our parents, our students and prospective students. They need to develop trust and confidence in what we do here. And to do that, we need to have a close collaboration with them. I'm not saying that there is no collaboration at the moment, but we need to strengthen that if we have to achieve what we need to achieve. We cannot do it alone. So we need to do it with all stakeholders.